Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's take a look at number 27. A barbed wire fence is to be placed around a 25-acre square field. If the fence posts are no more than 8 feet apart, how many posts are needed? So, how do we start tackling this problem? Well, we're going to want to find out how many posts we need in each direction, right? And to do that, we're going to need to find the length of the field. So eventually we're going to need to find out how long is a 25-acre square field in each direction. Before we tackle that problem, let's try to see how do we solve this problem if we cannot visualize it. Part of this is, 25 acres. We're going to need probably like 500 posts or something, and so it might be a little hard for us to visualize. Okay, does that number make sense? Now, let's say I happen to have a 10-foot field in each direction. So it's got 100 square feet of area. Oops, thinking out loud and writing it. Okay. And let's say the spacing is going to be 3 feet max. Okay. How many posts are we going to need? Well, if we take the side length, 10 feet, and divide it by the spacing, 3 feet per post, if you will, that tells us that we're going to need 3 1/3 posts. The problem is that we cannot have a fraction of a post, so we'll round up. And so we're really going to need 4 posts. Now, if we happen to place these 4 posts evenly along the 10 feet, what we'll find out is that they're each going to be 2.5 feet tall. If you take the 10 feet divided by the 4 posts, you find out how many feet you need. So our first post would be 2.5 feet away. Our second post would be 2.5 feet away from that, so at 5 feet. Then another 2.5 feet over here, so at 7.5 feet. And our last post would be at the corner exactly at 10 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4 posts. Now, because this is a square field, we're going to need 4 posts in the other direction as well. So we'll place one at 2.5 feet away, then 5 feet away, 7.5 feet, 10 feet away. So far we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every side is going to need 4. And the neat thing about it is the last post is a corner post, which ends up being the new, or like that post in the next run. So you don't actually need to worry about over counting or anything like that. Anyways, so we're going to need 4 posts every side, and this square has 4 sides. So we'll need a total of 16 posts for this field. Now, in the question at hand, we have a 25-acre square field. So the first thing we have to do is we have to try to determine how many feet is each side. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this part for 28, and I'm going to continue with 27. Here's our field. That is 25 acres in area. Okay, well, what we need to know is that 1 square mile is going to be equal to 640 acres. Now, 1 square mile is also 5,280 feet, and the motivation for using this number is because the spacing is also in feet. So we really wanted to go from acres to feet. Okay, so 640 acres are going to have an area of 5280 squared. When we do that, we find out that we have an area of, like 27 million? 27878,400 feet squared equals 640 acres. So what we find out is if we divide by 640, 1 acre is going to have an area of 4.36 times 10 to the 4 feet squared. Now, this is a 25-acre field, so we're going to multiply that by 25. So our area that we are starting out with is going to be 1.09 times 10 to the 6 feet squared. Because this is a square field, that area is also side squared. And so to find the side length, we square root. And we get about 1,043. 1043.5 feet. Okay, now let's go ahead and divide by the spacing. So we are allowed only 8 feet per post. And this comes out to, now you have to be careful because this is going to be a decimal or a mixed number. I get 130.44. So we need to round that to 131. Now that's how many posts we need in every side. Then we multiply by the 4 sides. And we should get 524. So 131, enter 4, multiply, 524 posts. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. Let's take a look at number 28 next.